I'm London Jen, and this is Battle Rap World. We are back. It's another new series. As you can see from the title here, it's called Seven Reasons Why. Seven Reasons Why I Am the One. Crucible edition. Now, the I in question today is none other than Anderson Burress, one of the guys who's been making a lot of noise over there at the Crucible. So I am going to bring on the man himself right now so we can ask him seven reasons why. Anderson, how are you doing?
Doing great. Thank you. How about you?
I'm good. Let me ask you first of all, did I pronounce your name properly? My English pronunciation sometimes fuck shit up. So did I get it right? First
It's,
question for me.
yeah, Anderson Burress. Yeah, Anderson
Anderson
Burress.
Burress. Burress.
Yes.
I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna work on it.
Oh,
By the end of it, I'll have it. Okay.
you spelled it. Yeah, yeah. It's just totally fine. Totally fine.
I have to make that check. I like to get these things right. Okay. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us. If you're watching this, I'm hoping that you're already familiar with Anderson. If you're not, you need to go and check him out on the app featuring in the Crucible series. One of the guys who really, like I said, has been making some noise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get straight into the seven questions that I've got for you, put you directly into the hot seat and ask you, number one, what is it that brought you to battle rap?
Well, I got into rap when I was in high school. I was on the varsity basketball team, and I was pretty young, and I got called out by some kids in the back seat. They were freestyling, and they called me out, and I went back there, and I just made up some stuff on the spot, and it was very easy to me, and it came very
Hmm.
natural. And yeah, and I kind of ran with that. And so I didn't battle. I got into rapping, like the actual, making beats and writing songs and everything throughout high school. And then I got to college and I started doing a lot of ciphers in my college. And from there, I got really into freestyling and started entering freestyle rap battle tournaments. And then we started a league in Raleigh, North Carolina, and a battle rap league. And so I started there, and yeah, I just fell in love with the art of writing insults for opponents. I love roast battles. I
Ooh.
love rap, and the two go together so well. And so that's how I got into it.
I love it. How old were you then? So literally you were on the back of the bus and someone was talking some shit in rhyme and you were like, okay, I can do this too.
Hmm.
How old
Yeah,
were you then?
I was like 15. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I wasn't a great basketball player, and so I had to prove myself some other way. And yeah, I
I
just
get it.
discovered that rap kind of worked for me because I've always loved hip hop. I've been a fan of it my whole life, and I just never really thought of trying it until then. And so yeah, just tried it and loved it.
And you said casually, what did you say? We made a league. We formed a league. What did you say?
Yeah, one of my really good friends from college started a league called AVL in Raleigh, and initially I was the camera guy for it, and then I started battling in it, and
Okay.
yeah, that's how I really got into it.
So one of those things, yeah, you've just been around it, everything that's going on, you want to be involved in, even if it's you holding a camera, um, you are very much immersed in battle rap,
Hmm. Yeah, because
basically.
yeah, I love. I mean, videography is what I do for a living. I'm in
Dope.
film school right now, and so I film also for iBattle. I'm one of their cameramen. Uh,
Ah, okay.
yeah, I would
Lovely.
love if I could get any job in the world, it would be just to film battle rap for a living. That's like the
Okay.
greatest job ever. So yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. Shout out to iBattle. Shout out to Lex Luthor, friend of the show, even. So you've been battle rapping for a while now. What is your style? What is unique about you?
Yeah, like I said, I love roast battles and I love rap and I love when someone can roast someone else because the thing about rap battles is there should not be a rap battle that makes it past 2 rounds. Someone should swing on the someone
Mm.
should swing on the other person after 1 round
Oh,
because we're saying
okay.
the most disrespectful stuff ever. And so I love about rap battles is that there's that understood you can say whatever you want to each other.
Yeah.
And I love the roasting aspect. So my style is really it's kind of stand up comedian-ish.
Mm.
I like finding angles about my opponent, and I like making my opponent or making the audience see my opponent in a different way than they originally saw them in. And that's what I try to do. I try to create moments, and I try to make you look at my opponent differently.
I love that. I love that you're sort of you occupy two spaces. You said you called your opponent a gentleman with one breath, and then you basically went on to say how you were going to you like the fact that you can just take them down structurally. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. Multi-dimensional. What is it that made you enter the Crucible?
So I found out about the Crucible and did not enter. I did not do a submission. I didn't do anything because I thought there's no way URL would ever want me. And I was just trying to get to King of the Dot, and that was the big goal. But then Lex, who I'm Lex Luthor, who owns iBattle. He and I are really good friends, and he had Carter. He picked Carter Deems to be his pick for the Eastern region of the Crucible, and Carter Deems backed out because he had to film Wild 'N Out. And so Lex had to find a replacement.
Nice excuse.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Pretty awesome. Yeah, pretty excuse. So yeah, Lex had to find a replacement last minute, and he asked me to do it, and I was ecstatic. And I was like, yeah, there's no chance I'm making it to the next round. But I would love a chance to be featured on URL. And so I just entered and didn't have to audition or anything. And yeah,
Oh wow!
how I got involved. Shout out
So
to
it
Carter.
was a shout out to Carter Deem, shout out to Lex, shout out to Wild 'N Out, and shout out for things that are meant to happen. You're meant to be here. It was meant to be, sometimes that's just how it goes. What's the biggest challenge you face in your battle rap career so far? It doesn't have to be necessarily in the Crucible, it might be, but in battle rap, what's the biggest obstacle or challenge that you face so far?
I have diagnosed OCD. So when I get a battle, I commit 100% of my mental energy towards it, and that gets in the way of every aspect of my life. And so for me to like our phase 2 battles, we got our opponents back in November, and then we battled in February. So from November to February, I was just obsessively writing every single day, trying to create the greatest rounds I possibly could, and it occupied every aspect of my life. And so the hard part about this next battle is that we battle in February, and then like a week later we get our next opponent. And so I'm right back to this obsessively thinking about my next battle, and it gets really exhausting. And so I am not someone who can do what Danny Myers does or Geechee Gotti does, where they can battle once a month. I have to block off like everything in my life, and it gets exhausting. And so I am someone who should only battle 2 or 3 times a year. And this is forcing me to battle a lot more than I want to. But I love it. I love the challenge. And I couldn't do this, I couldn't battle once every 2 months. But if I have to for this tournament, I absolutely will. And I'm loving it. But that's the biggest challenge, definitely. It's just the obsession and all the space that it occupies in my mind.
Yeah, that must be really tough. You might think it's an automatic plus, however, it just means there's no switch off, there's no turn off from this. Yeah, I can imagine that's rough. Well, good, best of luck to you, and at every stage. In terms of feedback that you've received or critique, any bits of advice that you've picked up along the way, especially in terms of the Crucible, what is the sort of most valuable piece of feedback that you've taken that you can that you've used to work on yourself?
Yeah, I think it was Di the Hangman after my Crucible battle, the feedback that was saying, you know, the awkward white guy angle that I use, it works really well, but it can't work forever. And
Yes.
I'm gonna have to evolve over time. I'm gonna have to come with more dimensions than just the I'm a white guy out of place and I'm awkward and uncomfortable. I have to have more dimensions to myself, and I definitely have that. But it's just so ridiculous that I'm on URL. I still can't. Doesn't make sense. I don't know why they're still keeping me here. I just every second I'm expecting P to tell me they made a mistake and just they don't want anything, and I'm like I don't understand completely, but they still want me around, and so I can definitely tap into to different aspects of everything. But for right now, I think it's still fresh, and I really like just being myself, and I am awkward, and so I think that shit comes very naturally. Because I mean, the rest of the competition that I'm in, everyone is trying to prove they are the toughest. They are the hardest. They are the most street. They are the most gangster. And I'm just trying to come in and just make your friends laugh at you. And I don't care what you say about me. I have, whatever you say about me is totally fine. I probably agree with you. Yeah. And so, yeah, so that's just what I'm trying to do. And that was really good feedback because I recognize that about myself, and I'm definitely going to have to have more aspects of my character and my battle rap persona moving forward from this.
Yeah, no, that was dope feedback. Shout out to Henny Man, my co-host over there on Verified Source. But he always has some really I've been watching the Crucible, and he's always got some really insightful, useful feedback, and he knows his shit. He knows what he's talking about. So I'm glad that you're sort of able to incorporate that. What is has there been anything that either the judges or maybe in the comment sections or on social media that people have wrong about you, or a misconception just in your battle rap sort of history? Is there a general misconception or anything that people just don't get about you, they just have wrong?
I would say the only thing that I've seen that is that kind of irks me is the people that compare me to Roan, because Roan's one of my favorite battle rappers ever. I mean, he is amazing, but I don't like the misconception that I just one day saw Roan battle and decided to make that my persona, because I have been rapping like myself for 12 years now, and that's why I love Roan so much. Because I remember when I first started watching written battles, it was Kid Twist and it was Pat Stay and it was Real Deal. But then when I found Roan, I was like, it was specifically in one of his battles where they listed his each battler's attributes, and one of his attributes was manners, and that is exactly my attribute too. And I remember watching this the first time I saw him, I was like, gosh, we are very similar. It is creepy how similar we are. And I always I loved watching him battle, and so he's definitely, I guess, an inspiration. Not really, I mean, I guess, but like I would just be rapping like this just regardless. And so it doesn't get me mad or anything, but I don't understand why people compare me to Roan, and it's flattering. But I would like people to know, like, I've just been myself this entire time, and we just happen to be very similar people in personality as far as battle rap goes. So that's the one misconception that I think people have about me.
I mean, visually alone, I can see sort of, I mean, yeah, I can see why there would be the Rome comparison, but also the manners. I mean, that's a brilliant attribute to sort of I mean, how wild is that? That's one of your I have to check out whatever the battle that was. If I saw that, I didn't catch it in the introduction, but you can't that's not a bad comparison to have if you're being compared to Roan at this early stage, and you're going to be compared to people. That's just inevitable. People like to put people immediately before they've even blossomed, before you've even had a chance to see who they are and what they do and what they stand for. You're like, oh, they're like so and so. This is a that style rapper. You like to compartmentalize. So, and if you're being compared to Roan, then great start.
And here's the thing: it's like there are I think, geez, I think there's 24,000 battlers on Verse Tracker, and they're only you can only attack and aggressively poetry an opponent in so many different ways. There are only so many styles of battle rap, and there's 24,000 of us. So like, there's going to be comparison. No one is completely unlike anyone else, and so there's always going to be comparisons. And so I'm always flattered when I get that comparison, because he's just amazing. And there's a lot worse people that can be compared to. So that's always good.
Yeah, absolutely. But ultimately, and especially when you're new, you've got to sort of carve that individual identity and persona for yourself, so that they then separate you from, what they initially labeled you as, or what the comparison. But final question, what I am going to ask is, why is it that you, Anderson Burress.
Yes, nice.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Why are you going to be the last man standing in the Crucible?
Dude, sorry. I know this is the wrong end. There is no way I'm gonna be the last man standing in this Crucible. Are you? There's no way. There's absolutely no way. If I am, then everyone else dropped the ball. Completely. I am so happy to be part of this league, and so happy to just be accepted. That is all I need. And I was talking to P about this, and I was telling him, like, dude, I don't want to be I want, if URL is a TV show, I want to be the guest character that comes in every 7 episodes, pops my head in, and makes the audience laugh, and then go, okay, that's all my time. I'll be back, in 7 more episodes.
I love it. That's so
guys. If I become the face of URL is in trouble. I recognize that. I recognize I'm a guest in all of this. And I would love to make the top 6. I would love to make the top 2, but I'm realistic. And I try thinking of a cool answer to give you for this question. Like,
be real.
Yeah, but no, there's no way.
No, be real. Be real. Yeah. I'm sure you believe in your abilities. I'm sure you know what you bring to the table, and you're going to keep every opportunity. You're going to keep giving 100% of what you do in the way that you do it. And I think that's why you're here. And if you go all the way to the top, then you deserve to. You also don't need to sit here and be fake and tell me why, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear what you've got to say about that question. And there will be some people who sit here and say that and maybe have an answer that they don't really feel deep inside, but they feel that they need to say. So power to you.
I will say this, though. I will be a little bit cocky here. There is nobody in the Crucible that I see and that I'm like, he would body me. I firmly believe I can beat anyone in this competition. There are definitely some absolute standouts that I really like. And I like everybody. It's like friends. We're all friends, and so I like all of them. But there's no one that they could pair me up with that I would be like, oh, I'm dead. And so I think I am the most unique and everything. And I think, that's I wouldn't be scared to battle anybody. But I completely understand this is not my lane. And I am such a fish out of water. And I'm just here for as long as the fans can tolerate me. And that's totally fine with me. I can't, like I said, literally 8 months ago, I didn't even think to audition for this thing. And so I'm just enjoying the ride and having a blast. And whatever happens from this happens. And I'm just very honored and lucky to be a part of all of this. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to everything that you've got to come in the Crucible and in the future. just really excited to see what's next. Anderson, where can everyone find you? Where can they follow you? Obviously, you can find Anderson on the URL app. Make sure you've got that downloaded. Go and check out the installments of The Crucible. But in terms of social media, in terms of where can they check out what you do, where you want to direct people to, let them know.
Yeah. So first off, if you want to find my battle on the URL app, it is difficult. They make it difficult for you. I don't know if they're going to change that. Hopefully they will. But to find my battle on the app, you have to go up to the top left corner, go to collections under the column, go to collections, go to Crucible, scroll down, find the Crucible section, then scroll down and you'll find me versus MVP. If you search my name on the app, it doesn't come up. I don't know. Hopefully that changes. But that is, for right now, that's how you find the battle on the app. And for everything else, literally, it's just Anderson Burress on everything. I have a monopoly on the name Anderson Burress. There's a Burress funeral home that I'm really working to
Get that shit. Don't let them have
exactly.
that.
But no, you Google Anderson Burress and it comes up on everything: Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. And so that's the best way to find me.
You heard the man. Well, go and follow him. Go and check him out, because this is certainly going to be a name that you want to see going forward, and a journey that you want to follow. Anderson, thank you so much for coming and joining me on 7 Reasons Why. And everyone, thank you for joining us, for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about Anderson, tell your friends about The Crucible if they're not already tapped in. Share this on your socials, all of that good stuff. But we are out.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. All right. Bye.